Hey everybody, this is Dustin over at CPRST News, and today we have a little bit of a different episode. Today we are going to be talking about the Samsung, I want to say lawsuit, but it's more of a proposed bill to kind of pass a law and to making custom more strict, but we'll get there in just a second. You will see that I'm posting this on my page as well as the other repair groups instead of just in CPRST, just because of how important the material that I'm talking about today is. I wanted to get to a wider range of people, so I'll be sharing it in a couple of different groups as well as my own page. Now, before we get into the Samsung thing, I do want to say that we are giving away an iPad mini 5. It's new, but it's not new in box. It still has the original wrapping around it, but there's no box. So we'll be giving that away a little later, probably Monday. But you guys know, as always, how to enter in the free giveaway is to leave a comment below. Now, on the giveaway, the only people that are participating are the people that are in CPRST and comment in CPRST. If you're in repair group or on my page and you comment, you will not be a part of the giveaway, and that's just to keep it fair to as CPRST News does the giveaway for CPRST. So if you want to be a part of the giveaway, jump over to CPRST and comment on the video there. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, so first I want to mention that Louis Rossmann has a fantastic video that goes in depth and more detail than I'm going to. It's like a 40-minute video where he goes in and just kind of reads the bill and then kind of explains what that means in people talk, right? So that we can understand. But it's a great video if you want more detail. Definitely check it out. This is just going to be a summary of what's going on as well as Injured Gadget's response. But essentially what's happening is Samsung is producing a bill or proposing a bill where they want to stop aftermarket screens from coming through out of country. So they're trying to get customs to stop any type of aftermarket screens coming in. What they're saying is that hey, we have a patent on these AMOLED devices, and Mobile Centrics, Injured Gadgets, Mobile Defenders are all infringing on our patent. Okay, they literally list almost every major vendor inside the United States, to the point where if this goes through, we will not have a vendor. There will be no more Mobile Centrics. And think about it, where we were without Mobile Centrics, or where we were before Mobile Centrics, Injured Gadgets. I mean, we were in it was a hard place for our industry to get really good parts. And now, let's be clear. It's not that Mobile Centrics, Injured Gadgets, these vendors are buying these or making these aftermarket screens and saying that they're original Samsung. They're not. They're being very clear and saying, hey, these are an aftermarket part for your device, and they have made their own screens, and they have redesigned them to work with their devices and try to be as close as possible without actually infringing on copyright. And they have been very successful doing this. I mean, look at the AQ7 screens, the XO7 screens. Those are very high quality screens that are not original or not OEM. And to put it for people that maybe are not in this industry, it would be like saying, hey, you need brakes for your car, and Toyota saying, nope, you can only buy my brakes that I designed, and by the way, my brakes are $600. Okay, yeah, I know the aftermarket brakes are like 40 bucks a pad, but our brakes are $600 a pad, and you can only buy from us. That's essentially what Samsung is trying to do here. Okay, they're just trying to say, hey, we design these devices, and we are the only ones that can make the replacement parts for them, which is complete trash. It will literally destroy this industry. Now, some people might say, hey, what's the problem with only having an original? Like, use the original. The originals are great. Why not just have original? And again, this is for people that won't be or that are not in the industry as well. So I'm trying to kind of break it down as simple as possible. The way that Samsung and Apple do it with their replacement parts is they're extremely expensive. To give you an idea, like an iPhone 13 original display is going to set you back like $250, $300. You can get an aftermarket for a fraction of that. And an aftermarket is 9 times out of 10 what the customer or the holder of the phone wants, right? They're like, hey, that's fine. I don't even see the difference, and that's 99% of the time. People can't even tell the difference between an original and an aftermarket when it's on your phone, and that's kind of the design of it, is to be as close as possible. The only people that I've notice that actually notice the slight color difference is like artists and photographers and stuff like that. Those are the people that come back and be like, yeah, that blue is just not the right blue, and it's such. I don't notice it, but a lot of people when they're in that industry of art photography, they do. But the kind of going back to the main point, it's more of like the price point. If I can offer you to fix your iPhone 10, for example, for $150, when your phone is only worth $200, $300 at the most, you'd be more amped to repair it at $150 than if I said, hey, I have an original screen, but it's $300, right? Now we're over the value of the phone, or at the value of the phone. You as a customer are more than likely just going to buy a new device, right? So that's kind of what we're looking at here. Now, to get technical, what Samsung is asking for is a general exclusion order. And essentially what that means is any type of display that has this certain type of pattern that would be copywriting infringement is counterfeit, right? So they're saying any of this specific type of display, if it has this, then throw it out. Now, which honestly, just that alone doesn't sound horrible. It sounds like, hey, if you're honestly kind of, infringing on copyright, then, infringing on patents, then yeah, I can see where you're having an issue. But the problem that I have with this is that you got to look at who's actually going to be the person determining at the end of the day, right? So it's not going to be a technician looking and saying, hey, is this infringement or is this a good aftermarket, etc. It's going to be a customs agent who is honestly just looking at a screen and saying, hey, this looks like a screen for a Samsung device and it doesn't have a Samsung logo. This is counterfeit. And that is the problem I have. I mean, they're not going to be trained enough to know the difference between counterfeit and aftermarket. And it's gonna kind of roll into all of these screens just kind of getting confiscated, and that's Samsung's idea, and Apple's not too far back from it. Now, one of the things that I thought was funny is that they actually put this in the bill, is that they had ordered a set of displays, and they don't say who from. I'm assuming Mobile Centrics or Injured Gadgets. They ordered a set of displays from one of them, and they said that, hey, they were trying to hide their infringement by canceling the order that we made. Well, realistically, more than likely what happened was they just saw that, a law firm ordered a bunch of parts from them, so they Google the law firm and see that they have a history of doing these kind of lawsuits, so they canceled the order. They're not going to help the law firm sue them. That just doesn't make sense. It's not trying to hide infringement. It's just saying, I'm not going to make your job easy, But I thought it was funny how they put that in their bill. Like, look, they're trying to hide it. No, they were just being smart. I wouldn't, if I was Mobile Centrics or Injured Gadgets, I wouldn't send a bunch of lawyers that were trying to come after me what they're trying to come after me for anyway, either. So I can kind of totally understand that, but I thought that was funny and I wanted to put it in. All right. So let's take a quick break from the depressing stuff of how our industry is ending. And let's have a word from our sponsor, Mac from GSM Warehouse in New Orleans, #1 wholesaler for pre-owned guaranteed unlocked devices. These guys are the ones sponsoring. They are giving away or supplying us with an iPad Mini 5 new without a box as a giveaway. So let's go ahead and thank them. Actually, one thing I like about them is that, if your store is in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, or Texas, they will deliver you the devices, which I think is pretty cool. Also, if you're outside that area, they can ship to you, and they say that they have the best prices in the markets. So they want let's build some relationships, And after talking to these guys, they're very cool. Everybody at GSM Warehouse is cool. Tony Baker as well. They're all excuse me. They're all awesome guys. So let's thank them for the iPad Mini 5 that somebody is going to win. And let's go ahead and get back to the depressing stuff over here. All right. So IG, or otherwise known as Injured Gadgets, put out an official response. They weren't messing around, right? And I love their response. I thought their response was great. I just wanted to mention a few things that was in their response. So as a part of the bill that Samsung put in, they had stated that they could fill the market. They could handle the market of all the displays that are needed in the repair industry. And so IG came back at that and said, they failed to cite showing it has the capacity to replace the volume of the subject article it seeks to exclude within a commercially reasonable time. Pretty much meaning that you guys can't provide the volume that we're providing. We are importing more screens, we're selling more screens than Samsung itself can do, right? And I would say, I don't know if I believe that from Injured Gadgets, but if you're looking at Mobile-Centric's Injured Gadgets and these other vendors together, then yeah, no question. I definitely think that they're doing much more quality, or not quality, quantity than Samsung themselves. Because really not many people are replacing their displays if their displays are costing $300. Really, those displays that Samsung are bringing in are mainly like service packs that are used for insurance claims or warranty claims and stuff like that, but not when a customer's paying out of pocket. Normally when a customer's paying out of pocket, they go with an aftermarket simply because it's so much cheaper, right? So Samsung also says in their bill here that this is not going to affect the end user or the end consumer. Joe and Bill with their broken screen, they're not going to be affected. They'll still be able to get a display, and that's just not true. It is completely going to affect this industry. Not only is it going to affect Bill and Joe, but it's also going to affect repair shop owners and technicians everywhere. If this goes through, a lot of us are going to be out of a job. The unemployment rate's going to go up. I mean, we have a lot of people in this industry that are going to be, again, out of a job if this goes through. So this is definitely going to affect us, but it's also going to affect Bill and Joe over here, because now that they do not have any other choice to repair their phone but to spend $400 when their phone is only worth $200, but an upgrade is $1,000. There is no other option for them. So that's definitely going to affect them and anybody else that has damaged devices, right? So it is definitely going to affect everybody. All right, so I want to move to Repair.org's response here, which I like their response as well. They started it by saying there's a huge amount of e-waste in this industry, in the States. I'm not in this industry, but everywhere. There's a huge amount of e-waste, right? And most consumers only hold on to their device for 1 year before they decide to upgrade. And if everybody, or if people decided to hold on to their device for longer than a year, it would be equivalent to taking 600,000 cars off the roads. That is astronomical to me. And the one reason that people upgrade their device is because it's damaged in some way. Now, if we look at the pricing and we say, if you go up to an Apple store with your iPhone 13 and say, hey, it's a broken screen, can you fix my screen? Apple's going to say, absolutely, we can fix your screen. It is going to be $400. But at the same time, sir, if you would like to upgrade, we now have the iPhone 14s available. The iPhone 14 is only like $200 down. You only pay like 25 bucks a month, and then you're good to go. You have a brand new device. Most people upgrade their device at that time. Now, if we have the ability like we do today, where that consumer can say, oh, well, I just went to this other shop and they told me it was only going to be 150 bucks to repair my phone. A lot of people go ahead and do the repair because it's so much cheaper and they like the device they have. Samsung is trying to take that option away from consumers. Okay, so that is something that we definitely have to fight against. And continuing on with Repair.org's response, they continue to say that in 2021, President Biden made an executive order promoting competition in American economy, where he asked the federal agencies to seek ways to make it easier and cheaper to repair items you own by limiting manufacturers from bearing self-service or third-party repairs of their products. The president said, hey, we need to make it easier to repair products in the States. We need to stop these manufacturers from limiting industries like ours so we can stop this e-waste. And Samsung is over here going the exact opposite direction. Apple's going the exact opposite direction. We have to fight against them. Even the government, the president himself is saying, hey, look, we have to fight against these manufacturers that are doing stuff like this. And of course, Biden wasn't talking about Apple and Samsung. I mean, we're talking about tractors, vehicles, all types of different things, right? If Samsung gets through with this, manufacturers are going to look at this and say, look, Samsung got away with it, why can't we? And it's just going to go downhill from there. I'm going to end this by quoting Rossman, where Rossman had said, this is literally a kill shot to the industry. And I 100% agree. I'm scared. If you guys die and go out of business because of something like this, I'm going out of business next. I drive my income from you. And I don't have a storefront. I'm not doing these display repairs. I'm not going to be directly affected by this, but I'm going to be indirectly affected by this. Everybody is going to be either directly or indirectly affected by this. And I think it's something that we need to take very seriously and figure out what to do. People are going to ask me, what do we do? How do we stop this? I don't know. I feel like I'm up here saying the world is ending. There's nothing you can do about it. Just let it end. And it sucks, but I wish I had an answer. And I think, the repair community, we are a strong knit community. While yes, we troll each other and we make fun of each other, we stand together. And I think that we've got to figure out something. We gotta fight this. And good luck. I hope you guys have great plans for the weekend. Sorry to unload a bunch of depressing stuff to you right before the weekend. I felt like I had to do this video to show that what kind of danger and what kind of trouble that we're actually in right now. And I don't think a lot of people understand. So have a good weekend, guys. This is Dustin over at CPRST News.